This is a dissection showing the foramen of the skull. We'll begin by taking a look at the internal foramen. The largest foramen right here is the foramen magnum, which houses the spinal cord. If you just go up and lateral a bit, you'll see two kidney bean-shaped foramen. These are the jugular foramen. This pointed part right here is known as the petrous portion of the temporal bone. Once you find that, just go anterior. This foramen here, and we can see it here, is the foramen lacerum. The next three foramen are all in the greater wing of the sphenoid bone. So remember, this is the greater wing of the sphenoid bone. So we're just going to turn this a little bit this way. This foramen right here is the foramen rotundum, the foramen ovale, and the foramen spinosum. Rotundum, ovale, right, based on its name, it's oval, and the spinosum. The next foramen are foramen in the orbit. So once we look in, we're going to see two slit-like foramen known as fissures. So this upper fissure right here is the superior orbital fissure. I'll tilt it a little bit. This is the inferior orbital fissure. And superior orbital fissure, inferior orbital fissure. Then if we look just medial to the superior orbital fissure here, there is a opening, a foramen known as the optic canal, right? So it's just medial. I'm going to put my stick in there, right? That stick right now is in the optic canal. We'll take that out. That houses actually the optic nerve for vision. There's another foramen here. This actually drains the tears down into our nasal cavity. This is the nasolacrimal canal. Above and below the orbit, we don't show it on this model, but there would be a foramen here. This would be the supraorbital foramen. Then this would be the infraorbital foramen. Right? The infraorbital foramen is in the maxilla. The underside of the skull has two foramen. So we're looking at it like this. Here's our foramen magnum that we just saw. We want to find the styloid process here, the stick, the styloid process, and then the mastoid process down here. The foramen that's right between these two structures has the name of these structures. This is called the stylomastoid foramen, and right in between, that kind of pinpoint looking foramen, is that stylomastoid foramen right there. Once you find the stylomastoid foramen, you can jump medially. You're going to be in the next foramen. If you were to take a stick, you would see you should not be able to go through to the other side. This is known as the carotid canal. Carotid canal. So stylomastoid foramen and the carotid canal. From a lateral view, the foramen that you want to find is this one here, just in front of the mastoid process. This is where we would put a Q-tip if we were going to clean the outside of our ear canal. This is known as the external or the external acoustic or external auditory meatus. Right? So the external acoustic or the external auditory meatus. On the facial video, I went over the mental foramen, but I'll review that again. Here's the two mental foramen on the front of the jaw.